welcome back to the Makisode YouTube channel. How are you today? As usual, we bring you one of our videos detailing how we made one of our bespoke dresses. This is a wedding guest dress, or it could also be a bridesmaid's dress. It could also be anything you want it to be. You could craft it in white and make it your wedding dress. It's a very beautiful design. Are you new to our channel? You should totally go subscribe. Every week we bring you inspiration videos on our shorts, or we just choose to give you a video detailing how we made one of our bespoke apparel or accessories or interior decor. So you should totally go subscribe and turn on notifications so that you do not miss out on any of that. Okay, so this dress essentially is very simple. Just worked in, say, 3 parts, right? And it is asymmetrical. See what we did there? It's asymmetrical. All right, so the main stitch here is the houndstooth stitch, and then we have this beautiful lacy design down here. Let me open that up so that you can see it clearly. Yeah, this is a design, very, very beautiful. This is what we use for the skirt part of the dress. So how did we start? We started with the skirt part of the dress. So essentially what we did was from the waist point, right? The waist of the individual. Like I always say in my videos, most important part of crocheting is the measurements, right? Measurement of the individual, because if you have these measurements, you can actually replicate anything in any size. You know exactly what to do, right? And then when I talk you through what I did, it makes it easier for you to replicate that with what you have and what you can do. All right, so from the waist point, right, we change the number of chains required to go around the individual's waist. That's what you need. And then work single crochet stitches to form a band. That's what this part is all about. This part was worked as a band, single crochet stitches all the way to form a band. Then, of course, you're gonna need to, after you have created your band, make it taut, make it it's gonna be loose enough to pass over the person's shoulder or over the person's hip. However, taut enough to stick, where you want it to. Right now, you've chosen your lacy design, right? Like we know, most lacy designs come in multiples of certain numbers. So you're gonna have to ensure that at the end of the day, whatever it is you end up with your single crochet row, the last single crochet row, if you need to increase to get to the desired multiple that will enable you work your lace, whatever lace style you choose, you're gonna have to do that. So that's what we did here. And then we worked the lace part. Now this lace part is a flare design, a flare lace design. So we have this part there, so it gives the skirt this very shimmy, able to shimmy when you wear it. All right, so we worked that for the desired length that we wanted. This dress, we didn't want it to be too long, and so we ended it somewhere around the knee, as you could see in the video preceding this class. So at that point, we edged with a different shade of brown, because we used coffee for here, and then we used a different shade to edge it. Now we're done with the skirt part, right? So we now decide to work up. Which stitches do we use to work up? We use the houndstooth stitch, walking in the round, and the wrong side and right side, the wrong side, then right side. It gives it this very beautiful textured look, right? That you can see from very far. So we worked it asymmetrical, right? Walk up to the armhole point, right? Then of course you're going to have to make room for the armhole. Now while you're making room for the armhole, you're also going to be having to calculate your asymmetry your asymmetry line, or your line of symmetry, so to speak. All right, so that requires steady decreases all the way to what you need to be your shoulder point. So if you've decided that your shoulder point is going to take maybe 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches probably gives you about 12 stitches, and then maybe down here or at this point, so the whole point, let's say you had about altogether maybe 102 or 104, as the case may be, depending on what it is you're working on, and you want to end up with 12 or 15 or 18, depending on whatever it is you have planned. You're going to have to take into consideration the number of rows it will take you to get up there, which is why we always preach the gospel of swatching. If you have swatched, you know exactly how many rows it's going to take you to get this armhole depth. Armhole depth here for this individual is about 6.5 to 7. So if you know the number of rows that it is going to take you to get this armhole depth, it makes it really easy for you to know the number of stitches to drop as you go in each row until you get to the shoulder. So if you want a one-on-one class on how to do that, yeah, let me know. We have videos, we have advanced and special videos for that. We would share those with you for a tiny little fee. However, this explanation, I am certain, is enough for you to use to work that. All right, so yeah, since we worked this in the color of the edging, we decided to use the color of the skirt to edge the line of symmetry. Now we attach the sleeve. We have a video on how we attach sleeves in our tips and tricks tricks folder. You can look that up on how we do this. Remember, the measurement of the armhole depth is important. The measurement of the bicep is also important. That will enable you know what decreases or increases to work and where to stop. So you would have taken the measurement of the individual's arm. If you wanted the sleeve to be a lot longer all the way to the wrist, you will also have had to do that. So this is a very beautiful design. Guess what? We infused beads. Beads always have a way of just making your crochet dresses pop. And guess what else? We infused the belt. For the belt part, yeah, we did that to ensure that by the time the individual wears it, it gives a more defined waistline. So you can do that as well. If you don't want to add a belt, you can always add, you know, those thread elastics. You can add those inside the dress. All right, so what do you think? Is there any part of this video that wasn't quite clear? Do ask us in the comment section. Remember to subscribe. And what more, we have our galleries on Instagram for wedding apparel, and then we also have for corporates and casuals. Those links, I'm going to drop them in the description box. You can visit us anytime. Do well to follow, like, share the apparel or the whatever it is that inspires you. Share it with your friends, and then also drop us a beautiful comment. All right, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now. If you have questions, drop them in the description box, in the comments. Bye again.